Hey everyone, Teletran4 here. I decided I might as well take a look at all of my favorite Spider-Man suits. Because you see, Spider-Man, he's my favorite superhero. He was one of the biggest influences on me growing up, and it was one of the reasons I wanted to become a writer, and also, he's just a really cool superhero. So first, I'm excluding the main vanilla 616 suit, and most variants on that. Like the Takuya Yamashiro Spider-Man suit too. The main difference with that suit is the web shooter / smorpher on the outside of it. I'm excluding this because it's the most iconic Spider-Man suit. It's really hard to include it in this sort of rank. And also the second ground rule, this is all based purely on my aesthetic. And I'm also only going to be including Spider-Man. Like no Scarlet Spider, no Spider-Gwen, no Spider-Woman. But I will first say, as an honorable mention, there is, of course, the classic Scarlet Spider suits for Ben, Kane, and I'm going to say Jessica Drew in the Ultimate Universe. They all have their unique charms to them. Most of them are really sleek looking. Albeit with Ben, he has the blue hoodie over top, and overall, scream making your own identity despite your origin. So without further ado, let's head into this list. Also, yes, I have 3 entries that are a tie, and it's a top 10 list, so technically there's 14 suits on a 10 list. Ignore that. So first up at number 10, we have a tie between the Parker Industries 2099 suit. It's just really sleek looking. It's got a nice style to it, and it feels like a nice alternative to Miguel's regular costume. And the Future Foundation suit, which is a very similarly white-colored Spider-Man suit and represents a bigger organization that our hero is part of at the time. Again, really sleek, really cool looking, and it has stealth mode. For number 9, we have the Iron Spider suit. Classic one from the comic. The gold and red just look really good together, and it really represents a collaboration between Tony and Peter on all the best levels. In my idealized Spider-Man universe, this would actually be considered the Spider Armor Mark II, because the actual Mark II is just a very forgettable design. And the classic Iron Spider is just really hard to beat, and yeah, the version of it in the MCU is lacking. But, yeah. And the spider legs and stingers and everything, it just looks really solid. And I feel like it really suits Peter during this time in his life. And for number 8, we have Miles Morales' graffiti suit, aka the Spider-Verse. I just really like this suit because of how much personality it gives Miles. It really represents that while Peter is more of a scientist first and everything, Miles' thing is more that he's an artist that ended up getting bad luck there. He is a very gifted kid, he's intelligent, but he's not a one-to-one clone of Peter Parker. That'd be bad. Miles is just so personified in his costume here. Like, the style of it and the coloring, and it's just an all-around really solid package. And some of the fight scenes you see it in really show off the sheer style of it. For number 7, we have the Superior Spider-Man, or Spock, costume. I just really appreciate Otto's take on Spider-Man, and the black trimming is a nice throwback to the Ditko suit. and it's overall a really good homage to the concept art that Alex Ross did for the Spider-Man. It's a really cool looking suit. The bracers and the legs really help Otto stand out from being just, Peter. For number 6, we have another one of those ties. And it's because they both have a very noirish feel to them. There's the Last Stand suit with the jacket and the mask. It's a very practical looking suit. It's Peter Parker when he's at his lowest and down on his luck and quite possibly die here. And the noir suit just screams everything about a super-powered noir detective. Both versions of it, the one that ended up with more spider flare and the classic noir suit, just really look good. And number 5, I feel like I'd probably be crucified if I excluded it. So, the symbiote suit. The classic black Spider-Man suit was many of our first introduction to alternate Spider-Man costumes. And it's just a really good look, and in a lot of the games and stuff where you actually get to use symbiote abilities and tendrils, they really flow with the suit and the combat moves. For number 4, we have Ben Reilly's Spider-Man costume. I really like the external web shooters, and the overall new patterns of the suit really make Ben stand out from Peter. But at the same time, you can still tell that this is a loudmouth webhead of super. For number 2, it's, another tie. There's the Spider Armor Mark 1, which is just an amazing looking suit. The aesthetic is top notch. You can tell this thing's bulletproof. And it's heavy, which weighs down Peter in combat some. But the silver gleam of it and all over the absolute aesthetic is. And a lot of people were first introduced to this in the 90s Spider-Man cartoon, where it served as a sort of Tony Stark version of Peter Parker. But that's not why I love it. It's just, the shine to it, the bulky look to it. It just shows that Peter Parker, at the end of the day, is a bit of a mad scientist. Because what does he do when he needs something to be bulletproof for a while? He makes an entire armor, even if it lasts only for like a few issues and barely reappears in the comics. The Spider Armor Mark 1 is just that strong of a look. It makes a whole new costume instead of like just putting a vest under his suit. Peter Parker is really extra sometimes. And then there's also the 2099 suit, aka Miguel O'Hara's classic suit. It's a really great look. It shows off Miguel's heritage with the Hispanic Day of the Dead getup, and it really emphasizes the claws and the mask. I really appreciate it. And it was a debut costume for one of my favorite characters to take up the title of Spider-Man after Peter Parker. My number 1 entry is the Sam Raimi Spider-Man. I know some of you might end up saying that, this is just a variation on the classic suit, and to a degree you're right, but the raised webbings, the polarized lenses, the overall emphasis on the look and feel of it, it really, really feels like a grounded, realistic take on the Spider-Man. And the style is just top-notch. I can't not love this. It's just such a big part of my childhood too. Back when I was in beta, I'd watch these movies to the absolute brink, and oh man, I just could not gush about this suit enough. The swinging scenes with it always look amazing, and the raised webbing, it's just such a detailed suit. It really makes you think that this is a version of Spider-Man that could actually exist in our world. And that's my top 10 list of my favorite Spider-Man suits. There are a whole lot of other alternate Spider-Man costumes that I would have loved to include on this list, but they just were beat out by all these other suits. Which Spider-Man costumes are your favorite? Go ahead and leave them down in the comments. Maybe start a discussion. I'd love to hear about what you agree with me on and what you disagree with me on. Overall, Tiv out!